Welcome back, everybody. In this video we're going to be unboxing and mounting this brand new scope I got off Amazon onto my 6.5 Creedmoor. This scope has some pretty incredible technology that you really don't see on many other scopes, or any other scopes that I've seen online. I'm excited to try this out and see how well it actually works. But it comes in a nice carrying case. It's hard plastic. It clips really well. You can hear a good audible click on it. It's got a little breathing vent right there as well. Let's go ahead and open it up and see what comes in here. The reason this scope is so special is that it's a night vision scope that doesn't use IR, believe it or not. It's almost unbelievable. It has full color images in the pitch black. It's got some crazy special AI technology in it that it brings darkness to light somehow without using any type of invisible or artificial light, which is really kind of mind-blowing. Let's go ahead and see what's in the box here. We'll open it up. Okay, so ouch. I'm gonna try not to hit myself in the face. The rifle scope comes in a nice cutout section of foam. Everything's in here nice and tight and secure. You've got your DGS 6X by 12X digital rifle scope manual right here. You've got your Type-C USB charging cable. You've got a scope cap right here for bright light conditions. You've got 30mm rings, looks like with an 1.5-inch riser. And then right here is the scope itself. And the first thing I notice about this scope is it feels extremely well put together. It's heavy duty. It's not cheaply made. It's made out of aluminum. Here's your laser. From one end to the other, it is 394mm, which is about 15.5 inches. The lens is 74mm from here to here. It weighs 3.5 pounds, so it is you know, a decently heavy scope, but with the technology and you know manufacturing it with high quality material, you're gonna have a little bit more weight to it. Your rangefinder can range 300 to 600 meters, which equates to like just over 650 yards, I believe, 656 yards, I think. On the scope here, you have your eye focus, and that's going to focus your crosshairs. And I believe there's 5 different crosshair options that you can choose from through the manual settings here. And then you've got your fine focus on the front to bring your line of sight into focus. Your lens is nitrogen injected to prevent fog buildup or any type of moisture buildup. So that's a really nice feature. You see that on a lot of high-end scopes, nitrogen purged. When you're using this scope during daylight, you'll want to use the scope cap that screws on just like this. That will increase your depth of field and clarity. Just screws on just like that. Your 2 scope rings are obviously going to fit the scope that it comes with. This mounts right to a Picatinny rail system, which you'll see on my 6.5 Creedmoor. It comes with an Allen wrench that fits your little screws on the scope ring, so it comes ready to set up with the tools you need to set the scope up. I wanted to give you guys a close-up look here of the settings. To turn on, you just press and hold this for 5 seconds, the power button. And you see the laser comes on. And you can see the scope turned on in there. It's kind of hard to get this focused correctly so you guys can see it, but you can see it enough that the screen is on inside the device. Over here is where your USB charging port is and where your mini SD card goes in. It takes a 4 gigabyte to 512 gigabyte mini SD card, which pops in right there. And then here's your USB charging cable. Here's your zoom. It's 6 to 12 times zoom just by twisting this back or forth. So what makes this scope so special is contained right here in the heart of the scope itself. It's a CMOS high sensitivity sensor, which gives you full color images in the pitch black with no type of infrared or artificial light like I mentioned before, which is what sets this apart from other devices. There's no other devices you can get high resolution color images in the pitch black of night. This is incredible. I can't wait to actually try this out and see what it's like. This is a scope that I'll be using for predator hunting, you know, during predator season for coyotes, foxes, stuff like that. I can't wait to try this out. We're gonna obviously try it out right out here. We're gonna set it up on the rifle. We'll look at different, you know, critters in the middle of the night to see how it actually works, and I'll show you guys how it works. So let's go ahead. The next step, we're gonna get this mounted onto our 6.5 Creedmoor, and we're gonna go through some of the settings, and I'm gonna try to show you what the picture looks like through the scope itself. I might have to use a different camera to provide you guys with that image. So let's go ahead and get it set up. So we got the scope mounted, everything's level, crosshairs are perfect. Now we've got the USB-C port connected and we're charging the scope up. So once we got a full charge, then we're gonna try this out. I've got to actually go reload some 6.5 rounds so we have some rounds to shoot out of this Creedmoor here. Well, as you guys can see, we've got the scope all mounted up to the 6.5, and I'm out here right now. It's just before dark and it's actually raining a little bit, and I've been looking up across the field. The end of that field I know is about 450 yards, and the rangefinder right here, I've been hitting it. The range is right on, so I had to calibrate it. There's a calibration method in there where there's a white square that you can move to center in your crosshairs to make sure you're ranging right where you're aiming with the scope. So it was really simple. You can go right through the menu really easily. You can brighten the screen or make the screen dimmer, all by manipulating all the settings with the buttons on top here. Super simple. You have your 6x12 zoom that you can zoom right in with, really easy. I'm looking forward to when it gets dark and trying it in the night vision mode and twilight mode. Right now during the daylight it works great. I'm impressed with how crisp the picture is as well. It's a very crisp picture as I'm showing you guys up there on the camera right now. So hopefully some deer come out here too so we can actually look at some deer through the scope. So I'll be back with you once it gets dark, and I'd like to figure out a way that I can videotape through the lens here and show you kind of going through the different settings and whatnot. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and try to show you the settings through the scope here. And the first thing you wanna do is long press that power button, and the scope will turn on after about 5 seconds. Just like that. Okay, so the scope is on. I'm going to try to hold this as steady as I can for you guys, but you can see the zoom up in the top left hand corner. We'll go ahead and zoom it into 12 times. Now let's go ahead and turn the laser rangefinder on. So you're going to press the down arrow and you're going to go to rangefinder off, and you're going to turn that on. So now our rangefinder is on. And we're gonna go back to the main screen. Now it shows you our range at 460 yards to that tree, and we'll go ahead and move this around a little bit to 270. So everywhere you're looking, you're getting an accurate range no matter where you're at. So as we move, oh, there's some deer out. Didn't even know that as I'm looking through the scope. So as you guys can see, those deer are at 307 yards right where they're at, which is a long ways out there. And there's obviously lots more settings that we can manipulate through the scope as well. So in order to start recording, all you have to do is press the OK button and you'll see the recording start in the scope here. So you can see the scope's recording down there in the bottom. And all you have to do is come back up here and hit that again. And you'll stop recording. It'll save it to the SD card. And if you want to take a snapshot, you just hit the up arrow. And you can see it took a snapshot picture. So you hit this arrow right here and it takes a snapshot. Let's go ahead and look back at some of the settings here. So right here is where you can review the photos and videos. So now it's loading all the videos that I've taken. So there's one of the videos right there. Okay, so now we're back on the main menu here. So you have your reticle adjustment. So like when you're sighting the rifle in, which we're gonna do tomorrow, we'll have to adjust that reticle to make sure our zero's on, and I'll show you how to do that. It's super easy to do. Your range finder, you can do it, you can have it in yards or meters. Your brightness you can adjust. You can have pre-record, and it's got recoil record too. So like whenever the rifle goes off, it'll save the video. You can adjust the video file length up to 30 minutes, I believe. I have power save, so if you don't touch the scope for 5 minutes, it'll go off. Your date, time stamp, language is English. In the mode, I have the mode on. So now we're just gonna wait till it gets dark and we're gonna see how this does. We'll go ahead and shut the scope off. You just hold that off. Now we're off. Well, I'm back on the porch now and it's pitch black out. I got the lights on under the roof here, so let's go ahead and turn this scope on and see how it looks here in the pitch black. Wow. I'm pretty surprised by that. It's so bizarre to me that it can have color images with no, it's like hard to believe, but it's perfectly color images in there. I'm gonna videotape through the scope so you guys can see. So it's obviously dark out. And that's looking through the scope. That's at like 380 yards, through the scope, and it's nearly pitch black out right now. That's pretty incredible. Let's go ahead and zoom in a little bit on it. Wow. That's pretty wild. I am thoroughly impressed with that. Let's see if there's any more deer out. This scope is wild. You know, there's no infrared light or IR light. There's no you know, thermal signature. This is just the technology they have in here to bring images in complete darkness to light in vivid color. It's wild. I'm gonna get some video through the scope of these deer right now so you guys can get a better idea. It's pretty crazy because you can see fireflies lighting up in it. We're gonna go ahead and get this new scope sighted in this morning. It's super warm out here. We're gonna try not to sweat to death, but we're gonna try to do this in 2 shots. I'm gonna use this laser bore sighter right here. I'm gonna connect this to the end, and that should get us pretty close. I should be able to take 1 shot and then manipulate the crosshairs right onto that round where it impacted the target using the technology in this scope. So let's go ahead and get this laser set up on the end, and then we should be able to move the crosshairs to the laser, take the shot, and that should get us really close to 0. And we should be zeroed in 2 shots. I think with the cloudy conditions, I'm going to take this scope cap off and see if that makes this brighter. I'm going to brighten my screen by going through the settings here. LCD brightness, we're going to take that right up to like 80. Now my issue is I can't see my laser very good. Well, part of my issue is with my laser bore sighter here is I can't see it. It's too bright out. So we're gonna have to just hope that this first shot is on that target somewhere, and then we'll be able to get the crosshairs on it for the next one. So let's go ahead and let her rip here and see how close this first shot is. Well, let's go see if we can find the hole. So I know my first shot was high and to the right, and now what I'm going to do is go into the settings on the scope here. So you're going to click on reticle adjustment. You're just going to take and start adjusting until you take the white reticles and put it right on the round that just impacted the target, and then you're going to be zeroed. I'll show you an example through my phone videotaping through this. Okay, so you guys can see the actual crosshairs are on the center of the target, and the little white crosshairs I moved up to where the round impacted. Now I'm going to save that setting on there, and my 0 will be right on the money. So that white crosshairs is where the round impacted. The red crosshairs is where I was aiming. So now that'll move my red crosshairs right over to where the white crosshairs are, and I'll be zeroed in 1 shot. Super handy. Okay, so this next shot should be right on the money here. Okay, let's go look. Well, I think we've got 0. I'm gonna take a closer look, but I think that round hit right over the bullseye, which is perfect. I want it to be a little bit high. You can see right there is where the round hit. What we'll do is we'll we'll shoot one more round to confirm, to make sure that, you know, the sight's not moving at all. That next round should be right next to that one. And then we'll move it out to 150 yards or so, and we'll shoot again just to see, you know, where our round impacts at 150 instead of 80. So if everything's right and that 0 is staying true, I even turned the scope off and turned it back on just to see if that made any difference. If the 0 is true, this round should be impacted right next to the other round. And it looks like we've got a true 0. So that round impacted right next to the other one, which is exactly what we want. The scope is good to go. I think we should see if we can find a woodchuck with it today. Okay, we got another target set up quite a ways out there now. We'll go ahead and range it through the scope here, and we'll launch around at it and see how it does at a further distance. Okay, so our target's at 140 yards. We're gonna go ahead and let her rip. Okay, so as you guys can see, we got the target set up. We're gonna go ahead and shoot it. It's pretty much just before dark, and we're gonna see how it does. I wanna show you how you go to mono mode as well. So you're gonna hit the down arrow, go into the settings. You're gonna go all the way down. Okay, now we're in mono mode, so it'll be black and white. Now you go back, and we're gonna refocus. It's right there. So now you're in mono mode. I like the color mode better though, so let's go back to color. Okay, so now we'll refocus. Man, that's unbelievable how light that is through the scope. I mean, when you look out here, it's just about pitch black out. And then you go to the scope and it's like perfectly broad daylight. I'm actually gonna shoot it holding the phone, looking through the scope here for you guys. Okay, so we're gonna start. We're gonna hit video or record. We're gonna hit the safety off. Okay, so there was one shot. We'll go ahead and load another round in. Okay, we've got another round loaded. Try to get that right back onto the target. Okay. We'll do 3 shots and then see how they look. Okay, so we've got our 3 shots. Let's go see how it looks on the target. Well, there they are. 1, 2, 3. So that's pretty darn good. I'll take that all day long. So we just launched 3 rounds in the dark with a 6.5 and had a little group at about 85 yards, which was right on the money. This thing's pretty incredible in the dark. How it brings, you know, pitch black into light like that is pretty amazing. I don't know exactly how it does it, but it does it, and it's pretty incredible, really. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap the video up with this scope here. I ended up putting about 20 rounds through the rifle this morning and afternoon, shooting targets at different distances. It held at 0 really well. Overall, I'm pretty impressed with the scope. It's really easy to maneuver through the different settings. The 12x zoom is really crisp and clear if you can, you know, get it really fine-tuned focus with this focus mechanism at the end of the scope here. I love how it sits on the scope. I love the look of it. It feels and looks really, really nice on the 6.5 Creedmoor. The most amazing thing about the scope, without a doubt, is the technology it has to see in the dark. I mean, that's what, if anybody's going to buy this scope, they're going to buy it because of its ability to obviously see in the dead of night. This is a perfect scope for predator hunting, like coyote hunting, fox hunting, raccoon hunting, anything that you're going to hunt at night. It's super handy because you don't need an IR light or, you know, a super expensive thermal adapter or anything like that. Everything is right here on the scope, along with your rangefinder, which is super handy because at night it's hard to tell distance. You know, if I'm looking up across the field and it's you know, pitch black out, you really have a hard time just by holding your crosshairs on the target or whatever you plan on shooting. You're going to get that instant reading of the distance. And you can have that set in yards or meters however you want, which is extremely handy as well. Obviously, for me, if I'm shooting a 6.5 Creedmoor and, you know, I have if I range something I want to shoot at 600 yards, depending on what round and load I'm shooting, I'll know, you know, the drop of that round, and I can adjust accordingly for the shot, knowing what the actual distance is. So, pretty darn impressed with this scope. If you guys are interested in checking these out, I'm going to put a link in the description below to the website, as long as this product on Amazon. So if you guys are interested, feel free to check it out. If you have any questions about it, I know the scope really well now. I've been working with it for a week or so, playing with it and really getting to know it and run it through the ringer and test it, and I've been very impressed with it. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.